What's going on, guys? Rock the AC here, giving you guys a deck profile on my top 16 finish at the ARG Illinois Event held on February 6th at XtremeGames. The deck that I ran was Namekian Restored Slug, a style, I guess, that I never even really played. I probably only played Namekian once at a local and never really liked going against it, and here I am using it. But the main influence of me running this deck was a deck profile done by MrWaffles, by Alex H. I saw the deck and it looked really fun, especially winning through Dragon Balls. And I figured that in this kind of meta, where there's not so many players running things like Black Krillin or level 2 Piccolo, crit abilities, or having a tournament that's like half Krillin and whatnot, it's easier to kind of keep your balls in play in a way. I mean, there's still stuff like digs and sinister chokes, but MPs are really annoying when you gotta shuffle balls back and forth, and you have plenty of ways to capture it, and a lot of people are focusing on other things other than crits. So like Blue Tag Team, they just run things like Tug of War or whatever to banish allies as their ally answer, so stuff like that. But I figured winning through balls is a good way, and I liked how the Namekian Restored Mastery kind of sets up your turn. Basically at the end of your turn, you could reveal the bottom card of your life deck. If it's a Dragon Ball or style card, you could put it to the top. And basically just set it up from there. So there are so many times where I had a Dragon Ball at the bottom at the end of the turn, and then I just drew into it right afterwards because it was just so good. And you could kind of set up your discard pile. You could set up the bottom of your deck so that you could complement it with the Restored Mastery. So, and what's nice about it too is that you get to fix your hand with the power. You get to raise your anger too. And I could also discard as Dragon Ball or a style card from my hand to shuffle my deck and draw a card. So if I draw bad, if someone enters on me and I have like a styled setup or something like that, or I drew into a Dragon Ball, just reset my hand and hopefully get like a a useful attack or a good block. But yeah, I guess we'll go to the deck profile. I don't want this to be too long, so because I laid it out all like this. So I kind of took my deck apart, so they're not sleeved, but trust me, I do take care of my cards. And let's go start off with the Dragon Balls. I have all 7 Dragon Balls, obviously. I cater my deck around Dragon Balls, but also through survival, poke damage here and there, but also rejuvenating so many cards. Setups, I ran Namekian Growth. Being able to play a Dragon Ball from my hand is also really clutch. Sometimes I could draw into it and just go ham from there. But also on level 3 Slug, the first time cards shuffle back or rejuvenates from my discard pile of my life deck, I could double that amount. So Namekian Growth turns into rejuvenating 8, and that happens plenty of times. It happens so many times during my games. It's really good. 2 visiting, grab whatever you need. It's just utility. Visage was there to kind of again force my opponent to kind of think twice about attacking. This deck, you're mostly passive. I'd probably say about maybe 60% passive. The rest you want to enter and maybe gain some anger and level up. But other than that, I mean, you wait for them, hit them for maybe even 10 life cards. You have a good advantage because you're still going to be able to heal your deck just because Slug is so annoying. Also Namekian Dragon Clan, that's a staple. Disturbance, staple. Namekian Wish, I also like Wish. Although it ends combat, it's super helpful against aggro decks, especially against Red Ruthless, who likes to have like 6 card combats. So it's very useful for that, and sometimes your opponent forgets about Wish and they might go aggressively and enter with like a visiting the past, and you could kind of trick them and just end it. But it's good. And then again, rejuvenation factor, and then radar. I don't play information gathering. I've always had bad luck with that card in any Dragon Ball deck. but it's always nice to have it as a safety net. But again, I opted out to not play for it. Events, I ran 3 stare downs. Just so good. Get rid of their best attack or best defense, and make sure you hit those hit effects. And it's just way too good. Hybrid defense, you already know that should be banished. I played 2 Namekian overtime, mainly because I don't play a barrage of energies, but it's decent, you know. Rejuvenate 1, mail my opponent, and then search for energy combat. These are my 2 spheres. I borrowed 2 from my buddy David. So those are villainous spheres, and those are just so good. I mean, I gotta like get some luck with some of these boxes and crack them open so I can get some spheres. But in a competitive scene, you definitely want to run at least 2. I don't care what anybody says; it's just way too good not to run. So it's very useful. 2 slugs regeneration. This card is what makes Slug super sluggy, I guess. Not even a word. They use after taking damage. Advance my personality, basically. So sometimes you know, you like to wait on a couple anger with your mastery, and then use advance and then go up from there. Rejuvenate 4. There are many times when I went from 2 to 3, and then I could, you know, rejuvenate 8. It's a very good card to kind of instantly bump you up. And then time. Let's go with my energy attacks. I ran 3 Optic Blasts because this is semi Dragon Ball deck that I kind of base it around. So it has 2 endurance, 6 life cards, very solid. And if I hit, I get to capture Dragon Ball and name 3. So it's a very versatile card. Not styled, but again, you could use it for endurance or just capping your Dragon Balls back. Next, 3 Max Will. You gotta have 3, especially in decks that want to level up super quick. Get to like the level 2s or 3s. Maximum will definitely hurt them, preventing them from, you know, MPBV or going up to their next best level. Is just so good. Just by you losing 2 cards, and then you get to rejuvenate it with, you know, your own effects. It's a very good card. 2 endurance, 6 life cards, very solid. Next, I ran 2 Namekian Double Strike. This is just for that extra crit ability. 5 life cards, and very solid. And I can shuffle Dragon Ball I control back to my deck in order to use a crit effect. And the last 2 is 2 Namekian Planet Attack, kind of like, you know, game ender. If it hits, search for a Dragon Ball and place it in play. You're just looking to get some Dragon Balls. Physicals. Shoutouts to David Meckler and Daniel White, who helped me kind of put this deck together and give me some tips. David liked the backhands just because, especially on Lord Slug 3, all your attacks are doing +2 stages damage, so it's going to be hitting for 5, 5, 5, and you're most likely going to be able to crit, unless your opponent has like 2 physical blocks in their hand or something like that, or time. But backhanding people back to back is just insane. I never drew into 2 at once. It was always a 1 or 1 after the other. But when it did, it would just be such a crazy card. Backhand is just so good. I mean, one of their best physical attacks that they ever made. Lord Slug's Fist Slam, of course. AT+3, which is a very solid attack. And then if your MP level is 2 or lower, raise your anger 2 levels. And if your MP is 3 or higher, rejuvenate 1 and capture Dragon Ball. This card helps so many in so many of my games, just to be able to capture Dragon Balls. Way too good. Sagacious Strike, instant crit ability, so you can get your Dragon Balls back, and also get off stuff like Wall Breaker. Onto the energy blocks. Onto the blocks, I guess. 3 Namekian Stance. I kind of wanted to make sure that my opponent... it's difficult for my opponent to kind of crit my balls away, so being able to stop energy attack and my opponent needing +2 life cards to be dealing critical damage is, you know, awesome. Then I played 2 Namekian Deflection. Didn't really do too much to me because I wasn't really attacking, so stops energy attack. Your successful attacks that deal 3 or more life cards are considered to deal critical damage. So So very helpful. Again, this is something to get off Wall Breaker or steal my Dragon Balls back. So all I need is 3 live cards, and you're good. But it didn't really help me, so it was like just a regular kind of vanilla block. And also ran 1 Namekian page block. Stops an energy attack. A good return Dragon Ball you control to its owner's hand. If you do, your next attack combat gains hit. Use critical damage effect. Didn't really use this, but it's just there for ball bouncing. My physical blocks, 3 Namekian flinch. I don't run any allies in here, but being able to stop and attack, shuffling Dragon Balls back to its life deck is just so good. And on top of that, if my MP is 3 or higher, I can just search my Dragon Ball and play it. This card wins games. I mean, being able to block. So many people play random physicals, especially free stuff physicals like Sagacious and Sinister Choke. So I mean, being able to do that is just very, very powerful, and I like it a lot. And then last 3 blocks, Namekian Reinforced block. I love this card a lot just because if its effect 2 endurance stops physical attack, your Dragon Balls cannot be captured this combat. There's so many times where I just rejuvenate this so that when they attack me, there's a less of a chance that my balls will be captured. I'm trying to remember if this is my exact deck, because I feel like I think I actually had 3 Sinister Chokes, and I think I actually had 1 or 2 less blocks or something like that, but I'm pretty sure this is mostly my deck. I might have had 1 less energy block, and then I think I may have took out the double strikes for the Sinister Chokes, so I don't know. I took this apart afterwards, and I'm recording this 2 weeks after. But yeah, that's basically my Slug deck. Again, I was very surprised at how I did because I never played Slug, and I never really played Namekian, so it was very interesting. And I learned that Namekian is very forgiving, and that you can still win through Dragon Balls. And just a quick recap of my matches. Round 1 was against Tag Team 17. We tied. I could have won. I just forgot to trigger flinch, and that kind of cost me. I would have definitely balled out them. Second round, Tag Team Ginyu, I won. Just threw those balls. Third round, Black Devious Ginyu. Very aggressive deck. It was piloted by the younger brother who won 2nd place at the Chicago Regionals. Matt Tambor, I think, something like that. Very solid deck. It was able to beat me down right away because he entered every single time. Enter. And I mean, I have so many non-combats and Dragon Balls. It's kind of hard to kind of block everything. 4th round, Namekian Restored Nail. Physical. Ended up winning that. And then my 5th round was against Orange Adapted 20. He eventually won 2nd place at ARG. And then I believe the guy who won with Black Ginyu, who beat me, finished 4th or something like that. So again, I'm not too worried about my placing. I'm kind of happy with how far I did with this deck, and yeah, it's just really crazy how I wanted to take like a Slug deck to the regionals, and it did decent. But yeah, shout outs to everybody out there. Congratulations to Nick Rodriguez, a local player of mine who won 1st place at our Illinois regionals. Tony Ortiz, just met him, cool guy. And my whole locals team at XtremeGames. Solid players, good players, and we like to have a good time. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be uploading my prior video the morning of the event of ARG. I kind of lost some footage, so it kind of sucks, but yeah, hopefully this profile made up for it. I'm very excited for set 5 release. I don't know what I'm going to run yet, but I mean, they revealed Cell, Roshi, and Yamcha, and I'm super excited for Yamcha. I think he's going to be very good. Maybe tier 2, maybe tier 1.5, who knows. But can't wait to do a lot of testing, and let me know what you think about this deck. it's basically, you know, I got the skeleton from Alex H, so shout out to him and MrWaffles. I kind of just build it, catering to my playstyle and also things that I think would counter the meta. And again, I think it did decent. So, rate, comment, subscribe as always. Thanks again for all the support. Get more content soon, and see you around. Peace out.